It's noon here in Ventnor City, New Jersey, and our nation's capital, Washington, D.C. And this is CarEdge Live for Wednesday, January 8th. Me coming to you through the hotspot on my phone because, well, you never know what's going to go wrong when you're getting your heater replaced. With your host today, as always, me with a story, Ray, and, well, my son, Zach. How are you this morning?
Doing well, Pops. Happy Wednesday to you and everyone here with us. Today's show is brought to you by CarEdge.com. If you're in the market to purchase a new or used vehicle, or if you're simply researching a vehicle, check out CarEdge.com. Dealer invoice price for free up in the top there. Car search. We've got the whole research center here, all sorts of great information there. And if you're in the market to buy, we have our car buying service, CarEdge Insights, the toolkit reports, and so much more back on CarEdge.com. Now, Dad, the big news that we're going to start today with comes from Edmunds. All right.
Yeah.
Edmunds released their latest data just the other day. Nearly 1 in 5 new car shoppers committed to $1,000 a month payment in Q4 2024. That's a brand new spanking record. Whoa.
That is insanity. Okay. In basketball, several years back, there was Linsanity, and now just in the car market, we have insanity for almost 20% of the customers out there who have a car payment of $1,000 or more per month. Let that sink in. $1,000 car payment or more per month. I can't think of anything, well, more stupider.
So as you can see down below, it's 18.9% of new cars purchased in Q4 2024 had a $1,000 or more car payment every single month. And we harp on it here on this channel, back on CarEdge.com, on the main channel. The total cost every month for your vehicle is not just your financing portion that you're paying. I mean, here, we can look at an example right now. Go to research, go to the research center. I don't know, Dad. Let's look at a Subaru. We'll do the cross-track. When I come down here to cost of ownership, there are many factors that go into cost of ownership. Depreciation is one of them that we don't really think about. Insurance, fuel costs, the interest, the maintenance costs. So there are all sorts of costs. So if we have 1 in 5 new car shoppers spending $1,000 a month just on their car payment, what does that mean for their overall monthly budget for purchasing a vehicle? It must be $1,500 plus, which again is record setting. It's insanity.
It is, because, you know, automobile insurance keeps going up in this country. So, you know, let's just say an average auto insurance is $150 a month, and your car payment's $1,000 a month, and your fuel costs are whatever they are a month. And then you have maintenance and depreciation. I mean, you know, if you're one of the people that has a car payment of $1,000 plus a month, your total cost is probably closer to $2,000 a month when you factor everything in going into your vehicle. And that truly, that's insanity. That's where you allow your wants to get the best of you. Where you don't just settle for your needs, you settle for your wants. You could probably have a car that's half of that payment if you didn't have to have the latest, the greatest, and the flashiest.
And now, Dad, the Edmunds data is also showing us that the average amount financed for a new vehicle is the largest it's ever been in their data set. In Q4 2024, the average new car financed amount was $42,113, an all-time high, compared to $40,713 just 1 quarter prior. So it went up by about $1,500 in 90 days, and year over year up from $39,977. So we have more and more consumers taking on more and more debt to have higher and higher car payments. This at the same time as you and I have done the research back at CarEdge.com on negative equity. We know that more and more people are upside down on their auto loans. So this is the auto industry kind of, Edmunds really pointing the finger at the auto industry saying, like, you can, what is this saying? It's like you can rob Peter today to pay Paul tomorrow. I don't know. Someone's getting robbed, man. And it's the future of the auto industry.
It would be Peter, Paul, and Mary, but I think Peter just passed away yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. But the next line down is also fascinating to me. For finding or qualifying for 0% finance deals remains nearly impossible. 0% finance deals accounted for just 2.4% of all new financed vehicle purchases in Q4 2024. So a lot of people would suggest that one of the reasons people have car payments in excess of $1,000 a month is they took advantage of short-term low interest rate financing. And that's why the payment is as big as it is. But when you look at that, that would indicate that perhaps not, because those cheap rates are so hard to qualify for that people just aren't. You're muted, buddy.
Seriously, and then you can see the line below that. Interest rates remain historically high, but there are encouraging signs of a downward trend. So we finally have average new car APRs below 7%. It's been a while since we've been there. They were at 6.8% in Q4 2024 compared to 7.1% just a quarter before.
Yeah, it's more and more difficult for people because of interest rates, because of the price of vehicles. There's never been a greater need in the history of this country of more affordable vehicles being offered. And somebody wants me to turn around because they think there's somebody back here trying to steal the place. But no, he's trying to reconnect the internet.
Yeah. Any luck?
2 seconds or 2 minutes, whichever comes first.
Fantastic. You're still coming through decent. All right. The other trend that we're seeing, Dad, that the Edmunds data doesn't necessarily talk about in too much depth, but we know we can see out there in the market, you can get approved for a 96-month auto loan right now. So we've got some confounding things happening. One is taking on more auto debt than ever before, having higher monthly payments than ever before, and having access to terms, financing terms that are just not tenable for most situations. I don't know if there ever is a situation where you should be financing a vehicle for 96 months, but there are credit unions and financial institutions that are offering for new cars 96-month terms and for used cars 96-month terms.
And we're astonished that you can finance a car for 84 or 96 months, but I guarantee you that 2 years from now we'll be sitting here and we'll be talking about 108-month and 120-month financing. And for cars. And I know you're going to think I'm nuts, but think about Japan, for instance.
Sure.
The average length of a home mortgage in Japan is 100 years. 100 years. You're not buying a house and you're not the one paying it off. It will stay in your family, and perhaps the next generation or the generation after that will pay it off. Well, cars are almost becoming like mortgages in Japan. So we're just going to keep extending the term to 9 years, 10 years. Eventually we'll be looking at 15-year financing for automobiles. As stupid as that sounds, but you can't continue to keep raising the price. I mean, 10 years from now, the average transaction price very well might be $100,000. And the only way you're ever going to make that affordable is to be able to finance it over 15 years. That's where we're headed. That's how stupid this is at the moment when you think about it.
It really is quite stupid. More Edmunds data to run through here. Another alarming trend. The average amount for a down payment went down quarter over quarter. So you not only have a larger financed amount, a higher average monthly payment of $754 per month on average, an extended term of 68.8 months compared to 67.8 months. You also have people putting less money down to get into that vehicle, which is alarming because we know Nearly 1 out of every 2 EV owners who finance the purchase of their vehicle and then go get a new vehicle are underwater. And about
Yeah.
39% of all consumers who finance the purchase of a vehicle are upside down on their auto loan when they go to purchase a new vehicle. So you can't be putting down less money, longer term, higher pay. Like it's quite the conundrum that we've gotten ourselves into here.
Well, you look at it. The average amount financed today on a new car was $42,000. Let's call it, just for poops and giggles, that the average down payment 7. So that's $49,000. 20% down would be almost 10 grand. So people aren't even putting 20% down, which means that because of tax, tags, and profit, the minute they drive out of the store, they're underwater. They are already possessors of negative equity. This is not tenable. It's not sustainable. Consumers keep taking on more and more debt, whether it be credit card debt, whether it be mortgages, whether it be automobile loans. And I understand that credit is what rules and runs the economy. That's how things get sold in this country, is people don't pay cash. People put it on a credit card because they don't have any money. But you can't have your housing costs and your food costs and your automobile costs and your loan costs continue to go up at the rate and the degree that they are, and expect the economy not to collapse at some point, because there's going to come a time where people are just going, I can't buy anything else. I either don't have the credit facility available to buy it, or I'm actually going to try and learn to live within my means. So even if I could buy it, I won't.
Yeah, man. I can't wait. Again, Raybot is coming soon. I don't have the demo today, but I want to ask Raybot, how much car can I afford? And your 10% rule needs to be the thing that comes up there. We see some great comments here in the chat from Igor. To every car buyer out there, instead of extending your term past 60 months, consider looking to buy a cheaper vehicle. Absolutely.
Yes.
Love that from Matthew. Thank you so much, Matthew. Payment on my Cayenne after adding extra principal isn't even $1,000 a month. Mortgage on the ski condo is $1,250. WTF are people doing out there? You gotta be kidding me. This Edmunds data, I know I get mocked a lot, and with good reason, because I use shocking every single day. This Edmunds data is shocking and continues to be shocking, and I think further demonstrates how materialistic and also, enabling the financial institutions are to let people put themselves in these types of terrible situations. There's no positive outcome when you take a 96-month loan out on a depreciating vehicle. It's just like no one wins.
And there's no positive outcome when you put things that you purchase on your credit card and you make just the minimum payment.
Yeah.
Because if all you're going to ever do is make the minimum payment, you're never going to pay it off. You're always going to be applying to get your credit limit increased, because paying the minimum does nothing other than make the bank a lot of money. I understand everybody wants everything. I get it. Okay. I'm 73 years old.
You want heat, Dad. You want heat. What a novel concept.
Well, and I'm willing to pay through the nose to get heat. But my point is we have to make the distinction between want and need. And at a certain point, perhaps we purchase what we need, not what we want. If a $30,000 vehicle can get you from point A to point B just as well as a $60,000 vehicle, and realistically, if you purchase the $60,000 vehicle, that's a stretch that could make life difficult for you, then don't buy the $30,000 vehicle. I've said this before. There's certain things in life worth stretching for. okay, where you look at it and you go, man, that's a little more than what I wanted to spend. Typically, that would be real estate. Where you look at something and you go, yeah, it's more than what we wanted. The monthly payments more, but the property should appreciate in value because historically real estate has, and B, will be earning more money. So this is a good item to stretch for because it should go up in value. A car, unless it's a Ferrari Enzo, a car for the most part is not that type of purchase where it's worth stretching for. For a fact that it's going to depreciate, and in most cases depreciate faster than you would like it to. So why stretch for a car? Stretch for a house. Don't stretch for a car.
Exactly. I pulled up the article here, Dad. We have it back on the website. How much should I spend on a car? Follow this easy rule. They've got the 10% rule. It's on YouTube. So please, 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 folks, we've got great resources on that. The Edmunds data really, really demonstrates the need to be informed before spending so much money or simply just getting approved to spend so much money. Also back on CarEdge.com, I want to take a second here, Dad. Under research, best new car deals, we've got an added capability today, folks. You want to see what the cash offers are for any type of vehicle? You can come in here now. You can choose the vehicle you're interested in. Maybe not a Bright Drop 400, but the Blazer EV. Click on Find Deals, change your location around, and you'll see the offers in your area. Lease and finance offers will be showing up soon. And below that, we've got the updates, Dad. There are still 0% financing offers out there, cheapest lease deals on trucks and SUVs and everything in between. So the automakers are trying to find their way to get more and more people to purchase these vehicles. And Edmunds is showing us all the reasons why you really, really, really got to be thoughtful and mindful before you do. Don't be one of those 20% of people in $1,000 a month payment. Pretty please.
And you can, if you're making $500,000 a year, feel free. And truth of the matter is, I see the comments that say to me, Ray, you should never tell people what they should or shouldn't do. You're absolutely right. I shouldn't tell you. It's not up to me to decide for you what is good or bad for you to do. What I would suggest is that you look at the total picture before you pull the trigger on anything. Do your due diligence. Figure out if the extra cost is worth the enjoyment you're going to get from the item. If it is, then by all means, knock yourself out. If you come to the conclusion that it's probably not, then go with the less expensive, cheaper item that fills a need instead of a want. It's just, I spent a lifetime in retail automotive. I saw so many people who had buried themselves, who had made such terrible financial decisions. There were so many times that I would sit down and counsel somebody as to why it was not in their best interest to try and trade out of the vehicle they were in now so they could bury themselves deeper into a new car. And it's hard to get through to people when they let their emotions take control of the situation. And oftentimes, big purchases like this are emotional. Salespeople are trained to try and keep it as an emotional decision instead of as an intelligent decision. So just if you want to do it, but just make sure you understand what it is that you're doing to yourself and your family before you pull the plug and say, okay, I'm going to do it. So much for Ray's advice today.
I want to show you here, Dad. I just clicked on that button to show you those Blazer EV deals here in my zip code. This is really cool.
Yeah.
This is really, really cool. For January 2025, Chevrolet is providing 21 cash incentives to the Blazer EV, including loyalty conquest offers and special programs like the Chevrolet EV private offer for $3,000. This is really cool. GM courtesy transportation out of service program. View details. Dealer must be enrolled. Like, this is really, really cool what the team put together here. Obviously, not all of these are stackable, but damn, this is my first time clicking around on this. A referral EV allowance. supplier allowance.
Can,
This is really
can I
cool.
say something? Whether they're stackable or not, there are dealers out there who will advertise them as if they are, and they will show you. They'll show you the price of that vehicle that might have been a $30,000 MSRP.
That's not the point of this. You know that's not the point of why we're bringing this up. Look at this, Dad. Here's that EV offer. Customer is not required to terminate their qualifying current lease or trade. This is really good stuff from the team.
Well, that's easier to get somebody buried that way, where you don't require them to get out of their existing loan. You just get them to add an additional loan. There we go. There, that's helping the people of America out.
Whatever. Anyway, I'm going to put a note into the team. We should probably order this from highest to lowest. Like this private offer is currently on page 3, but it should show up on page 1. So anyway, we'll keep making some progress here and some updates. But this is pretty damn cool. My dad does not want to support it, but hopefully the
no. I love the fact that all that information is available, because that's the type. These are the types.
Dad, look at this. Did you know that in Maryland right now, the Ford US Ford Blue Advantage dealer cash spin alternative V2 is up to $40 in customer cash?
Wow.
Come on, baby.
That would be enough to push me over the edge. That $40. Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah. Check it out, folks. CarEdge.com/best-deals. Share your feedback in the chat and in the comments. How's it going on the internet over there, Dad? Did they restore it?
No, not yet, but they're working on it. My God, they're working feverishly. The good news is, here's the good news. I'll share it with everybody. The Xfinity internet will be up and running as soon as this show's over, I'm sure.
Fantastic. Love that. Well, whatever. I can't use this view today because my dad, you look kind of clear right now, but you kind of go in and out as a potato. So keeping it in the other view for today. That being said, Dad, we had some thoughtful contributions come in. Dreadnought. Thank you, Dreadnought. Will there be a boat edge or plane edge in the future? I think we're sticking with cars.
I don't think so. Yeah. I don't know enough about either. And God knows I won't get on a boat because I have this fear of being on a boat if it's in the water. I could be on a boat if it was on a dry dock, but I get a little nervous when it's actually in the water.
We've got from Matthew. Thank you, Matthew. Ski Condo goes a stretch, but it's doubled in 7 years. Yeah, definitely. There's a difference between financing the purchase of real estate, financing the purchase of an automobile. Speaking of which, Dad, let's go to our favorite segment of the show.
Really? You've got to be kidding me.
Sony and Honda have the solution for our vehicle affordability crisis, and it is the all-new Afeela electric car. Dad, let me know how you feel about this. Starting at $89,900 and going up to $102,900 for the signature trim. The Afeela will be sold direct to consumer from Sony and Honda. What do you make of this, Dad? Is this what's going to help with the affordability crisis?
How can it not? I mean, 90 grand. How could that not help the affordability crisis? And my hope is that it at least comes with an OLED screen built into the dashboard, and perhaps a 65-inch Sony TV for your home. That seems a bit much. And here I was just 10 minutes ago saying 10 years from now, the average transaction price is going to be $100,000. And hell, Honda and Sony want to make that happen, I don't know, in a year or two. It's crazy. These are crazy numbers. And I understand technology is important, and there's a lot of benefits from some of this technology. But, does an electric car really have to start at $90,000? I mean, isn't there a way to do it so that, I don't know, just about everybody could afford one instead of, 1 out of 10 people, 1 out of 50 people, 1 out of 100?
I love this comment from Dan. It'll be $30,000 in 1 year. Like, we know these EVs depreciate like crazy, especially like I'm thinking of the Fisker. Remember what happened with Fisker? I mean, obviously they've gone out of business, but those cars, if you bought one, I mean, you just lost all your money essentially. So it's a bit of a hard proposition with Afeela here or with Scout. some of these upstarts that obviously have a big partner. Like Honda's huge, Volkswagen's huge.
And I maybe because this is a joint venture between Sony and Honda, and Sony's never been really in the automobile business, and doesn't have a dealer network for automobiles. Maybe that way they'll be able to do the direct consumer sales that they're hoping to do. But with that affiliation with Honda, I don't know. I anticipate a suit from Honda dealers out there saying, no, 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 we want this. Why they'd want it, I have no idea. It's not like they're going to sell billions of these. This seems to me that it could give Lucid a good run for their money as to how much money you can lose per sale.
Yeah, seriously. I don't think this is, I mean, Honda dealers are certainly going to, it's only in California right now, which we already have seen the California Automobile Dealers Association attack Volkswagen and Scout for what they're doing. They're going to do the same thing here with Sony and Honda for the Afeela electric car. But then at the end of the day, if you're a Honda dealer, do you really want a $90,000 electric car sitting on your lot costing you floor plan money? Probably not.
I don't think so.
But on principle,
did you see that Scout has taken, allegedly, they say, $50,100 deposits on the upcoming Scout vehicles that won't be out for at the earliest 2 years. So they get to sit on what's that, $5 million for 2 years. It's interest-free money.
Yeah. We might be launching an electric car soon, folks. Stay tuned. I wouldn't mind having an extra $5 million in the bank for us to play around with. All right, Dad, let's come back here. Let's come back here to the chat and close out today's show from Rich Diana. Thank you, Rich. When does Ray start his own channel called StudEdge?
StudEdge. Well, I've got exposed studs here at the moment, and I'm not even talking about the ones working on the project. Did you like that one? That was for you.
Oh, that's bad.
So I don't know. Maybe StudEdge could have a true future on YouTube. You never know.
I might have to go.
I have to be good. I have to be good. I've spoken about things on this show that people say I should never speak about. So StudEdge is probably one of the ones that I shouldn't talk about.
Joe, thank you, Joe. We appreciate the kind contribution. Was that Raybot clearing cars at Matt Blatt Nissan yesterday, Admiral's successor? Were you out there moving cars around yesterday, Dad?
I understand Matt and his team. They're just lovely folks, but no, I wasn't out there helping them. But that was my, original stomping grounds down here in the Atlantic City area. It was when it was originally Admiral Datsun and then became Admiral Nissan. And several years ago, Matt Blatt did buy it. So, yeah, we have filmed on their lot. And we literally watched rogues breed as we were there. We didn't want to capture that on video because we didn't think that was appropriate to share with our audience. Trying to be good today.
Yeah, you're not trying hard enough. From Matthew. Thank you, Matthew. Did y'all see them bulldozing cars in the Palisades for the fire? Yeah, what's going on in Los Angeles right now? 3 major wildfires.
Yes.
Very dystopian. Very scary. Yeah, really, 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 really bad.
Yes, absolutely. I'm so thankful that we don't live there. I feel terrible for the folks that do. I remember the times when we lived in Arizona and we were there for 20 years. You weren't there for 20 years, but your mother and I were. And there were every summer there were major forest fires, and I mean the smoke and the haze would make its way down into the valley, and it's just sad, that people's dreams and everything they own can get wiped out like almost instantly, and it's
losing everything in your home. I mean, just unfathomable. And then did you see any of the videos, Dad? It was truly horror movie, like drama movie, like scarier than could ever be imagined. There was one video of a man, two men, and a dog, and just their house just encircled with flames, and it was just like it took the breath away from me.
Yeah, well, sometimes real life is scarier than what Hollywood can imagine.
Let's see if we can lighten the mood a little bit. Mookie says, breaking, man who can't fix internet launches electric car line.
Well, you know, I can't fix the internet. I didn't invent the internet, so I don't know how to fix it. But we're good to go. Now that the show's over.
Let's test it. Let's test it, Dad. Let's test it.
We should have internet connectability.
Do you want to test it? Do you know how to test it?
Test it. I'm going to test it. We're going to connect the Ray's condo.
Either he's going to come back or he's not. Moment of truth. Do 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 do. Bum,
Okay.
Oh, he's back. It worked. Your internet's working.
Yeah, it says my internet's really it's only fairly good now. Whatever. Yeah, but we're back. I mean, you never saw so much electrical tape in your life.
You're looking good, Dad. You're coming through nice and clear. That's awesome.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. Thank you, guys. Look at that. You know, this crew can work through anything, and they have.
All right, Pops. Let's call it a show.
Okay.
Unless you have anything else, we'll be back tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific time, 12 p.m. Eastern for more CarEdge Live.
See you all back here tomorrow at noon. Thank you, everybody.
Love you, Dad.
Thanks
See ya.
to the team.